Can I make a statement as opposed to just a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful on so many levels for all of the classes, but I must say I'm really enjoying your Tuesday newsletter article, little blurts, little clips. I kind of have a strange sense of humor. I'm the one who laughs when nobody else is laughing, kind of thing. But I thought, does he realize he's a straight man? He says, it's our bread and butter oil, marjoram. I'm sorry, maybe no one else thought that was cute, but I thought it was really cute. Marjoram. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fun. I was just talking off the top of my head, but yeah.
We're good together. I thought it, well, he's
Alexa, turn on first click.
So I just enjoyed it. I've listened to it twice today, and I like it and I enjoyed it. And so I look forward to your Tuesday newsletters for even more reasons now. So thank you. Keep them coming.
Yeah,
Last night was awesome too.
yeah, wasn't that nice?
Yeah, really nice.
We were having substantial technical difficulties in the background, but it didn't really show too much.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
It was good as always.
Samantha handled it very well.
Yeah, she always does. She's the best.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for listening. I so
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm super glad you're practicing that. That's why Greg did them. So when you guys want to practice something, we put them up on YouTube. I'll put the link again though, if any of you guys didn't get that link or didn't get a chance to watch that video yet and practice. Yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
You are still muted. I can help you get unmuted if you would like. Please.
Sorry. I get headaches every night between like 3 and 4, and I have to get up, take some aspirin, go back to bed. Then I wake up, and after I'm up a bit, maybe have a cup of coffee, they kind of go away. So
The coffee makes it go away.
Well, it seems it's either sitting up and or some of the aspirin may have worked that wasn't working as fast, because I usually take something. I just can't stand headaches, but they're consistent.
Okay, and what part of your head are they in?
Kind of all over. It's just kind of it doesn't really seem to take a position.
Is it deep inside the head, or does it seem to be more towards the surface?
I would say more towards the surface and maybe a little bit more towards the front. Or
In your temples? Your temples at all?
Well, not that I notice. It's more just kind of a general.
Like in the front, like a frontal.
But now
headache.
as I'm talking, it seems like maybe if I had to say, I would say maybe more kind of towards the front.
Okay. And when you sleep, are you sleeping on your side, your back?
Yeah, I'm a side sleeper.
You're a side sleeper. And do you have low back issues at all or anything like that?
Well, I have on the left side, if I lay on that side too long, I will get like a uncomfortable feeling right around the waist. So I put a little rolled up towel there when I sleep on that side, but I don't do it when I sleep on the right side. There's no pain.
Okay. And what stress levels like, and what is anxiety levels like these days?
I don't think that much, because I'm not super busy. I'll have a day here and there.
Right.
But I had a heart incident based on stress in August. And since then, I've really been focusing on things to keep me less stressed. I mean, I could be wrong. She can be blind to that, but.
And do you have any sort of respiratory issue?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I get the feeling it might be some toxic sort of thing, at night when your body's trying to do whatever, but it's
yeah, it could be, but You know, when you're looking at headaches, you want to kind of look at like other things than just the headache itself, because a lot of times the headache is a reflection of something going on. And when you're getting a frontal headache, if you look at it from the energetic point of view, that is a lot of times energy moving from the lower centers and excess and moving up. So you could see it being that it's stress related, but it doesn't sound like it's that. It could be that you have still some issues with fight flight, and you know, it's kind of low grade, and so flight in this particular case probably isn't stress, but it's probably fatigue. Like, you know, the body is tired and burned out, and so you're running on a little bit of low level adrenaline. Excuse me.
I fall asleep like watching TV, and I almost have to drag myself up to bed. So the sleep thing kind of makes possible sense.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if it's not fatigue. So, and
the other thing I noticed when I get to go to the restroom, my feet turn red. So like all the blood is like kind of rushing to my feet. I thought that seemed kind of odd. You know, they'll be like, when you mentioned circulation, I thought.
They're not, are they puffy?
No, not puffy. They just get red. So as if when you mentioned the blood maybe going up or something maybe going up, it's almost like my feet are forgotten during sleep, and then I get up.
Right. This is a weird thing, but like, do your feet turn out like this? Like when you walk and stand, instead of being straight like this, do they turn out like this?
Not that I've ever noticed. I don't think so.
Yeah. So this is the way that I would start treating it. And I'm not sure that this will knock it out, but like with something like this, you want to go through and start crossing things off.
Okay.
So the thing that I would say is with the caffeine, we're not sure that it's caffeine making it go away, or just you, like you said, you get up, you start moving around, and you know, your body might just shake it off. I mean, that's, you know,
it feels
possible.
more like that. The caffeine might help a little bit, but it just feels like partly getting up.
Caffeine usually helps a little bit more with migraines than it does with just like regular frontal headaches like that. But so you know, you always, I mean, you could look at a couple of things. Like, I'm going to say the first part, but I think it's probably going to be the second thing I said. So the first part is you can look at muscles in the back of the neck and kind of along the upper part of the spine, like between your shoulder blades.
Mm-hmm.
You can put things that are antispasmodic. I would probably, I mean, you can put marjoram and things like that, but I would probably lean a little bit more towards like basil and petitgrain, because if it is that kind of issue, there's a thing that we talk about in the pain class called spasmophilia. Mm-hmm. And I would say spasmophilia is really one of the things, even though I've talked about it, I mean, we could talk about it for a really long time. Spasmophilia is basically, there starts to be like tension or agitation in a muscle with just a moderate amount of activity. So it really doesn't take very much for the muscle to go in spasm. And sometimes it could be even like mental or psychological energies. It could be movement. It could be sitting for a prolonged period of time in a particular position. It doesn't take much to set spasmophilia off. And so the tendency is for tension, for cramping, eventually turning into trigger point activity. And I don't think this is probably trigger point activity, but there's definitely some body tension there.
So I'd put the oil just around my neck, just around the back of my neck, and down as far as I can reach between my.
Yeah. I'd put it probably in a little bit of lotion or a little bit of vegetable oil of some sort, you know, like a massage oil of something. And, you know, like put like 6-8 drops and about a teaspoon of oil in and rub it, and then rub it on your neck, and then 6-8 drops, and then do kind of between your shoulder blades the best that you can, or
how many drops of oil in a,
like 6, like each time that you put, you know,
in a teaspoon of oil.
Yeah. And I'd try that. If you really can't reach those areas, you could always put it in a salt bath or try soaking in a salt bath. But I prefer to get the oil directly on
I
there.
can reach everything, it's just not too far down my back, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I would definitely try that. The other thing that I would try is do breathing with marjoram. And do the sinus pattern and then the pattern for the digestive tract.
I know the sinus pattern, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
digestive tract is front and back solar. The spleen, we'll post it for you. Can we
Okay.
post it for them? Or
Yeah, Letty, do you mind posting
yeah,
that?
Letty will post it for us.
Okay.
And then the navel and your basic. And so
Would I do that when I'm having a headache or before I go to sleep or something?
I would do it before you go to sleep. I would try to just nip it in the bud and don't let it come to a try not to let it come to a head.
Okay.
And so here's what that will do is, for one, it pulls the body out of some fight flight activity, right? So it means it's going to take your adrenals down from being so activated. And it helps to increase the vagal tone, which is the vagus nerve that comes out of the medulla at the base of the skull.
Mhm.
And with that, it increases your ability to go into rest and repair mode. And if it is adrenal, like it's probably like they're just a bit overactivated. They're not super overactivated. Coming that you had a history of stress, but you're not really in stress now, it's probably still some low grade overactivity. And it's usually coupled with fatigue, right? So what will happen probably is you'll start to feel like your body relaxes more, right? But what will start to happen is you'll start to feel like, oh, I feel a little bit more tired. I feel a little more fatigued. And it's because you're not running on that adrenaline. And it's very short-lived. Like it might last for a few days. At the most, it might last a week. But your body will probably sleep and rest a little bit more, but then you'll kind of start getting back on track. And so, if it is that you're starting to sleep a bit more, or you just feel tired and you're going to bed a little bit early, just lean into it and let it happen. Your body's trying to like reorganize itself a little bit. If the adrenals aren't too overactivated, it might not happen very much, but let's have you knock those two things out and see how that does, and then come back to us like next Tuesday and kind of report back and see what happens. If not, there's some next steps to take, but those are two really good steps to go through and treat for a frontal headache.
Now, did you say the Spasmophilia is an actual oil mixed combo that I?
Yeah, it's a blend. Like, yeah.
So would that be a good one for me to order and use?
If you have basil and petitgrain, I would just do the basil and petitgrain and just see how that does.
I have basil. I don't think I have petitgrain.
Yeah, then use the basil first and see if it even brings some relief. If it does bring some relief, then I would get the Spasmophilia.
Okay.
And I would start putting it kind of all over your body. My body has, just from all the years of wear and tear, like I have Spasmophilia where it kind of comes and goes. And so it's not diagnosed or talked about very much in the US, but when it flares up, man, it doesn't take much for headaches to come on, or a backache or something. And when I get it calmed down, I mean, it's hard for something to even bother me. And so it's a good thing to go through and treat, because we a lot of times here in the US, we think either there's a cramp or a spasm or there's not, but there's all these shades of gray in between that spasm and cramp and not, and that you're more predisposed to it. We really don't think about those kind of components. It's just either on or off. But you're looking at it from the point of view of, you're trying to reduce the tension and the spasm in the here and now, but you're also trying to prevent it for the next several weeks. You know, so the treatment is not just now, it's also like, I don't want to have a bad week. I don't want to have a bad month. So you start treating it like that with the spasmophilia, and it can really change the nature of the tension and cramping in the body, which would be, you know, contributing to like back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, but
Well,
big ones are headaches.
I have that
right?
facial pain. So
Yeah.
I wonder if it can contribute to that facial pain.
I mean, spasmophilia can contribute to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would give that a shot and see how that treats you, and then report back to us in next Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And if you have questions, shoot us an email.
Okay.
We'll be on the road, but we should be able to check emails while we're traveling.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we know what protocol Greg's doing tonight? Nope.
No, Greg doesn't even know what we're doing tonight.
Channing, did you want to share?
Hey, Miss Channing.
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for last night's WESOC meditation. I'm still,
Yeah, did you enjoy?
oh my gosh. I'm still reverberating, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so special. I had never experienced something like that before. So between,
Was that your first WESOC?
it was my first WESOC, and
Yeah,
it was
good for
so
you.
beautiful. And I had
Good for you.
candles lit and everything, and I just kind of set up the environment. I actually hung my vision board to the wall,
Nice.
to the east facing wall. And then I did what you told me to do last year is I put black tape on, it's a white frame, and I alternated kind of like a checkerboard style.
Oh yeah.
So I placed it on there and just kind of did my own visualization during the meditation. It was just really special. So thank you so much for that. I loved
Yeah,
it.
good. Yeah, my pleasure. Good, good, good.
I think they're still in the WESOC energy. Someone said WESOC was incredible. I dreamt of Lord Buddha all night.
Good for you.
And guys, you know, anything goes questions wise.
Yeah, yeah.
So Greg, last week we worked on the instinctive mind, and I've been practicing it pretty much every day actually. And I'm wondering if similar to the protocol where we could add Mars and Archangel Camael, is there another one?
You know, I was adjusting my notes, and so let's make an adjustment on that. It would be it would be the moon and Gabriel for that.
Oh, not Mars and Camael?
Right. It would be the moon and Gabriel.
For the instinctive mind that we did last Tuesday?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Would you like us to add the brain to it as well after the ajna?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you want us to add a fifth oil after galbanum and add cistus for flushing it out?
Instinctive mind.
So just to recap my notes, I had start with Mars and then Archangel Camael. So you want us to change it to moon and then Gabriel. And then we did cedar, hyssop, sage, and then galbanum. And then over the weekend, you had us use cistus if we had it for flushing it out. Do you want us to?
Yeah, cistus would work. Yeah.
So 5 oils, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Greg. Zakia.
Hey, Miss Zakia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
So I had sent you and Sam an email to try to get a jump. A friend of mine said she has Fuchs corneal dystrophy. something about the lining of the corneal being, I don't know, is it inflamed or swollen? And it runs in her family because her mother had it. Any thoughts?
Off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the email, because I figured you wouldn't have it off the top of your head.
Yeah.
So next Tuesday, if you think of something, I'll be back next Tuesday and
Okay.
give you time to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's a
Is there
very
any
rare
other
thing.
health issues going along with that? Or
No.
no autoimmune issue or anything like that?
I can ask her, but she didn't mention that.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't put that together.
Yeah, I
So
know.
check to see if there's an autoimmune issue.
I will. Thank you.
Anytime there's a lot of odd inflammation, one of the things I always go to is I check for autoimmune issues.
Okay. I will ask.
Doesn't mean that they're there, but
Right.
it's something I always cross off the list.
Okay, I'll check.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah, go ahead, Jolene.
Hi,
Hey, Jolene.
hi, Greg. Thanks for all your great work, you and Sam.
Oh, thank you.
A couple of weeks ago, I was in a study group and you were talking about fibromyalgia and chronic
Mhm.
fatigue, and you gave kind of a little protocol about using peppermint in the morning and then hyssop after in the evening. And I did that, and it really has helped, and it was all about getting the lymphatic fluids moving. I think it did help. It kind of moved the needle a little, but is there anything else that I
Yeah,
could?
we actually have a couple evenings of talk, and like, did we ever do the PTF for the? I don't think I did. We have like 2 or 3 study group evenings where we just talked about fibromyalgia, and so do we have that posted on the Q&A?
Yeah, I'll put a link there too for you, Jolene.
Oh, that would be great. I'll just
Yeah.
walk. That would be fantastic.
Like I have like like an approach of like treating all the different aspects of the fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And so, you're not really kind of chasing symptoms. You're trying to nurse the body back into being in a place of balance. And so there's probably about 4 or 5 hours of lecture on it.
Yeah, I would love that. And then your do you do custom blends for certain types of pain, or how do you make those?
Yeah, I have already made like things for about 10 different kinds of pain. Most people look, I think on the site there's maybe only 5 of them, and so the other ones I pull out, when needed. But we break it down. I kind of simplified it where we deal with nociceptive pain, which is just dull, achy pain, nerve pain, which is neuropathic pain, which is sharp, stabbing, tingling, radiating, usually because of compromised nerve in the spine or the one of the cranial nerves being compromised. Then we have degenerative pain, which is like usually an arthritic condition. It could be any of the joints, but a lot of times you see it in the knees, hips, spine, but it also would cover rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune type of arthritis. So that would be hands and feet and also spine. And so any of the degenerative pains, and then we have psychogenic pain, which would be things that are exaggerated by stress or emotions, things like that. And so breakthrough pain is one that I've lectured on in the past, but it's basically just the transient nature of pain, and it can be secondary to the primary form of pain. And so, usually we go through and we evaluate which kind of pain it is. And then when you kind of know which kind of pain it is, they each also have some symptoms or tendencies in the body that go along with it. Like, so for example, nociceptive pain, there is a very big tendency for lymphatic stagnation. And so basically it's the tissue in a part of the body is stagnant or in the whole body is stagnant, and that tissue kind of becomes toxic. And then there's kinds of spasms, because the body has different kinds of spasms. And so there's kinds of spasms that kind of go along with it, as well as some other dysfunction associated with the pain. And then something like nerve pain, for example, when somebody has sharp stabbing pain, one of the byproducts of the sharp stabbing pain is bronchial spasms. And so because of the sharp stabbing pain, people start to have a bit of a respiratory issue that you really don't think about, but it keeps increasing body tension and keeps applying pressure to the spine. And so it will start to exaggerate the pain syndrome. And so we're not just looking at how do we target the pain itself, but we want to go through and unwind the other mechanisms that go along with that. And then from there, we have a class that's just on pain. Then we have a class that's psychotherapy that could go through and start dealing stresses and things. But the other big class or pieces of information is, again, where we don't think about it in sleep, with pain, is there's usually sleep issues. And so chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia is a perfect example of that. It really, a lot of times it's a lymphatic issue, and it's also, you could almost say that it's a sleep disorder.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
Yeah, the alpha waves, there's too much alpha waves and not enough delta waves when you're sleeping. And so your body doesn't get to repair itself like normal. So one of the things, all the oil blends that I make, I think all but one of them stimulate delta waves. So you're treating the pain, but you're also treating the byproduct of the body being in pain, and you're trying to still diminish the tendency for the sleep issue. Because if somebody's been in pain for longer than 30 days, they start to develop sleep issues, and then over a period of time, they develop a sleep disorder. I mean, it's just mechanically what happens. It's not something they're doing or not doing. It's just you let the body be in pain long enough, and eventually you end up with a sleep disorder.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
So
definitely in that cycle.
What's that?
I'm definitely in that cycle that you just described.
Yeah, I mean, if you have chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, you have the sleep issue. Like chronic fatigue doesn't happen without the sleep issue, but by the time it ends up as being a fatigue issue or fibromyalgia, the delta waves have been interrupted. I mean, that's the way it happens. So we'll put the link in there for you so you can go and see that in the Facebook's link, and then start playing with some of that and see how it goes. And then if we need to, we can look at trying to do something different if we need to augment it. But that covers a lot of ground, a lot of ground. If you need help translating some of it, or like what you should do, maybe don't feel that you need to do everything at once, but I would just start at the beginning and just start working your way through it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Definitely keep us posted. If you need help or guidance, let us know.
Okay.
Can Greg talk about the Vajra that was used during WASOC, I guess? I don't know which.
My Vajra? Yeah, if you want. It's not very essential oil oriented, but yeah.
And for people who don't know, yeah.
It's
hold
this.
it up.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
my Vajra. It's called a Vajra, or also it could be called a Dorje. Yeah. It's about 300 years old, actually. It came out of Tibet. You know, it spent most of its existence in temples there. And because of the kind of metal that was used, it was mostly used by high lamas. And so, you know, over a period of time, it's just let's just say it's very, very charged. You know, it's been well used. And so I feel very lucky to have something like this. So it's a very strong tool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have several pieces that are anywhere from 300 to 900 years old. You know, the Vajra, a couple of Purbas, you know, the little axe. Yeah. A couple of little statues, you know, they're 300 to 400 years old. It's one of those things where it's things are coming out of Tibet because of the temples are being destroyed. So it's a little bit sad, but at the same time, you know, things happen. So,
Will Greg teach on how to use them
Um,
anytime in the future?
yeah, I probably will. You know, last year I was thinking about that. We'll probably use that in the Purba at some point. Yeah. I don't know why you haven't. Yeah, let me think about what that would look like. You know, there's even, you know, we call them like kind of tourist Dorjes and Purpas. They're still very potent. They still work very good, but the really ones that are made well or made out of particular metals or that are a little bit old, man, they're strong. They're really strong. So part of it might be that, you know, we're teaching something, but if you don't have the right tools, it kind of almost doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of you know how oils can be kind of a little bit of a personal thing as well. The Dorje Vajra and the Purba can be that way a little bit as well. I mean, a little bit. I mean, there's definitely techniques to them. But, yeah, I mean, I love using those things. I don't mind talking about them.
Back to oils. What is in the prosperity blend?
Clary sage, rosemary, fennel, basil, mugwort, rosalina, and swazi.
Clary sage, rosemary, fennel, basil.
Mugwort, rosalina, and then swazi.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, I wrote it down and didn't post it. Give me just a sec. Any other questions?
No?
No.
Okay, let's do some practice. Okay, I'll just clean something up with my notes here.
Someone requested another planet protocol.
Oh, yeah, maybe we will do that. Give me just a second, let me clean this up. Just a second longer here.
While he's doing that, I do want to make sure you guys knew in the chat, I did actually put the link, the Zoom link with the recording for last Tuesday, if you wanted that. I think I have it up on YouTube as well, but this way, this link, if you want to download it for yourself onto your own personal device, you can.
Okay.
Venus, Mercury.
We'll just do the good old-fashioned sun. Okay, so let's do this. Pull out, if you have any sort of fur, but especially fur balsam. Just the good old-fashioned fur balsam. You seem to be good. Okay, so what we're going to be treating here, we're going to be treating the kidneys and the sex organs. And so we're not treating the sex organs for like a particular condition. We're treating it as endocrine function. And so part of what you're doing here is you're having kind of an esoteric and a psychological impact on the body and the psyche. Part of what you're doing here is you're treating the tendency to be oppositional. And, you know, basically it's about being at odds with everything in your environment and even the mind and the emotions. So the example would be, this has always been the best example that I've used for like opposition theory, is that a person always attracting the wrong person. Like say you're trying to find a potential mate and you just keep attracting the wrong person, the wrong person, the wrong person. And then you just go, I give up, you know, forget about it. And then you meet somebody that's, you know, a potential partner or it ends up being your partner. And so part of what happens is as you bring it up into your awareness and your psyche and you're working towards it, there's the parts of you that want it, but there's the parts of you that also like oppose it, like you're at odds with it. And so this is not something that is just some people have it, everybody has it to some degree, but at some point you have mastery over it or you've vanquished it to a certain extent. And so you can have something that you want, and there's also thought processes and emotions that a lot of times are unconscious. They're totally at odds with what you want. You know, so there's part of you that wants it and there's part of you that doesn't want it. And so some of this is actually tied to endocrine function, specifically the sex organs, a little bit of kidney function, but definitely the sex organs. And so as you go through and you refine this, it increases your ability to materialize or make things happen. You know, you're not as at odds with things in the environment in your life. You know, a lot more people have oppositional issues than people realize. As a therapist, I usually didn't bring it up too much with people because it's not really tied to their thought process. It's tied more to endocrine function. And so when it was an issue, we just treated the endocrine system. You know, we would go through and treat it and it would diminish. And so, you know, you don't have to treat the whole endocrine system. This is one where you can really target the sex organs and the kidneys and achieve some relief is not the right word, but you can, I mean, you're really kind of changing your thought processes by going through and doing this, because a lot of thought processes are endocrine functioning through the brain. It changes kind of how you think and how you process information. So with that, they don't have any sort of fur. It's going to have to be green, like evergreen. Anything else? No, but like an evergreen. Yeah, use the spruce. Okay, think of something you're trying to bring into your life, you know, a relationship, something to do with a job, you know, hobby, just something you're trying to bring in. This would also go for a spiritual practice too, by the way. No, I'd think with like firs or spruces. Okay. Okay, so begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. So you're inhaling, your awareness is on the sex chakra. Keep inhaling. Go to your main mid, so your low back area opposite your navel. Move your awareness to the kidneys. Into your perineum, the area between the anus and the sex organs, at the floor of the pelvis. And then your brain, right and left sides of your brain. And just be still for a moment. Keep your eyes closed, just be still. Okay, we're going to do another round. So again, begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Your Ming Men, your low back area opposite your navel. Your awareness is on your kidneys. To your perineum or your perineum, however you'd like to say it, the floor of your pelvis. and then your brain. Just be still, be aware. Now, let's reach for lavender. Just going to reach for your good old fashioned lavender. Lavenden would also work. So, lavender. Again, inhaling, your awareness is on the sex chakra. Move your awareness to the Mingmen, the area of your low back, the backside of your navel. Your kidneys. The floor of the pelvis, the perineum or perineum. And the brain. Just be still, be aware, keep your eyes closed, just let it incubate. Same oil, begin inhaling again. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Your Mingmen, your low back area. Your kidneys. Your awareness is on your kidneys. The perineum or the perineum, the floor of the pelvis. Your brain. Just be still. Keep your eyes closed, just let it incubate. Now let's have you pull out Marjoram. Should everybody have Marjoram? So go ahead and begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Tarragon and Galpinum. You're still inhaling. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Your awareness is on the Mingmen, the low back area. the kidneys. The perineum or the perineum, the floor of the pelvis. And the brain. Just be still. Okay, again, the sex chakra. your Mingmen, your low back area, the backside of your navel. Your kidneys. Your perineum, the floor of your pelvis. Your awareness is on the brain. Just be still, be aware. Just let everything go. Just be still. Now this next oil, either Palo Santo or if you have chakra root cleanser, that's actually a better choice, but at least Palo Santo. And if you don't have that, we'll try to find you some options. You seem to be okay. Like the shift tea tree. Okay, so begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Move your awareness to the low back, your main men. Go to your kidneys. You're at the perineum. Where are we at? Kidneys. Kidneys. Oh. Awareness is on your kidneys. And then your awareness is on the perineum or the perineum, the floor of the pelvis. and the brain. And just be still, be aware, keep your eyes closed, just let go. Okay, again, begin inhaling, same oil. Your awareness is on the sex chakra. Your main men, the low back area. Awareness is on the main men, opposite your navel, on the low back. The kidneys, The perineum or the perineum, the floor of the pelvis. The brain. Just be still. Do we do the brain or not? Yeah. Just be still. Okay, how do you feel? Let's get some feedback and answer some questions.
And you can unmute yourself or type in.
How was that?
Feeling super relaxed, resistance breaking down big time.
Yeah.
It makes me smile. I'm
Oh,
giddy,
good.
kind of.
Yeah.
Everything feels lighthearted and
Good.
it was. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, but it feels good.
Well, like right now, you probably just feel, like you said, like relaxed. You might feel a little spacey or a little giddy.
Giddy,
'Cause- yeah, because you're kind of resetting the endocrine system, or at least a portion of the endocrine system. And so, like feelings, mood, some mental function, they're all kind of shifting around. And it makes you a little bit more lighthearted, but it takes the whenever we have something that we're doing, like we have the thing that we want, and there's a piece of us that also doesn't want it, and they both can exist, and they're kind of separate and at odds with each other. And when you go through and you do this, you kind of diminish the part that doesn't want to do it, and you enhance the piece that is like, no, this is what I want. Because it is a biological response that you're overriding, and it's usually because of past conditioning, and it's a form of agitation. in the endocrine system. And so by going through and doing this, it really kind of changes how you interact with your environment. You know,
So
it,
now-
it changes the polarized approach in us, like we're not so much at odds with ourselves, and it also makes us not at odds with the environment.
Now, if I have diagnoses with my endocrine system, I try not to listen to those guys because I'd have a list of them if I took every one of them real seriously. But the fact that I have some endocrine diagnoses, this would be something that would really be good for me to do every day.
Yeah, you could do this every day. Like, you know, we'll eventually kind of go through and hit all of the glands. You know, like here we've done this one, and what was the other one we did? I think it was the adrenals, wasn't it?
Adrenals,
adrenals,
instinctive
yeah.
mind.
Yeah. And so, you know, you're hitting some of the lower endocrine glands, and then, you know, next time we can hit the thymus. Like that's always a good one to hit.
And what about thyroid? Is thyroid still considered?
Thyroid would eventually, yeah, like we could do that one as well. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I look forward to, but I look forward to all of them. I was joking about, oh, I love my chakra root cleanser, but I like a lot of them. So
Yeah.
they're just real special. My body seems to like the vibrational change or frequency or whatever it is. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thyroid's tied more to like repetitive thinking, repetitive patterns in our lives.
Well, I got these 8 nodules on my thyroid. It's like, no, we're not going to biopsy them. I'll do something else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I look forward to
those are kind of common. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Laura?
Hey, Laura. How are you?
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good.
Good. You know, when you just started talking, it was something you could have the need for this because of money or family issues or any number of
totally.
things.
Family
but
issues, partner issues, business. You see it a lot in business, but also a little bit with partners. And sometimes the thing with partners, people will outgrow some of this, but it's really just because they outgrow it because their hormones change. I mean, it's not really that they outgrew it, because it's not a cognitive. It's not a cognitive issue. It does affect your cognitive abilities, but you're not getting there because of cognitive processes. And so a lot of times it changes for a person as they get older, but it's because the hormones change.
Well, that's really interesting. You said at the very beginning, in just a word or two, that this could be part of your spiritual practice.
Yeah.
And that just kind of rang a bell that, you know, sometimes, and past conditioning is probably a lot of it, past teaching. So would you do this before you start your spiritual practice, and like in the morning, or what would you?
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it before you do your practice, but like if you do it over a period of time, it just would integrate with your practice. You know, so for here, this is a perfect example. Is people could be, you know, cultivating a connection with Christ or Buddha, and then at the same time be oppositional with the teachings. You know what I mean? Like they could want it, but at the same time push against the teachings. And so it's not quite conflict. It is almost like, haven't you ever had like a well, other people. My best example is like when somebody is trying to bring something in, they want something, and then they also don't want it. So a lot of times their thought process will flip-flop quite a bit, because it's like when one starts to happen, they want the other one. And then when the other one starts to happen, they want the other one. And when the other one happens, they'll just keep flip-flopping back and forth. They're just floating in that oppositional, you know, back and forth. And it really is about the sex hormones. You know, if you think about it, it's how they say opposites attract. It's kind of tied to that. it's kind of a play, you could say, kind of eventually might turn into passion a little bit, but it's not passion that would turn into love. It would be passion that eventually turns into like conflict.
That's interesting. So I have another question with that. If you know that there are
Like
things-
I just thought of one. How like somebody, like they want a good partner, like say a woman wants a good partner, but is always attracted to the bad boy. Or the guy who wants a good partner, but is always tied to the woman who's always like really mean. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you want something, but you almost want the opposite at the same time.
So could you do this in a general way, or do you need to do it with a specific partner, or wanting a partner or wanting a business? You could do it generally.
I mean, even if you try to be specific, it is general. No matter, you're not really thinking of anything. If you just go through and treat this, you'll notice that it starts changing when you have business interactions, when you have partner or relationship situations, even the things that you do. It would change the dynamic. You don't need to visualize anything. I don't know if visualizing or putting your attention on it being about a particular thing does anything different, because it's really just about agitation in these glands, and then like calming it down and then regulating this piece of it. And then it would be not content driven. So it would just be the agitation's either there or it's not. And then if it's not, it would change all these areas. And if it's there, it would be affecting all those areas. Like a lot of times it's really kind of one of those situations where it's an either or, like either it's there or it's not. And when it's there, you just can't turn it off. Like, in the early days of therapy, we would do talk therapy with people and they'd go, yeah, I completely understand. And then they would go back to doing the process, because it's really more their biology than it is their choices. Like they cognitively, I want to choose this. I definitely want to choose this. But then at the same time, they would go out and their biology would take them down a different road.
Well, I can see that in me right there.
Yeah, well, it's in all of us. Honestly, it's in all of us.
So would you do this once a week? Would you for a while, or what? How would you start this process? Would you do it?
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it once a week. I mean, I would say this oppositional thing, it was some of my early struggles. I did it almost daily. Like I probably didn't do it every day, but I was doing it like 4 or 5 times a week. And then eventually I worked to the next one, but I did this one for quite a while. I mean, I literally could go like, I really want this. And then all my effort would be going into the opposite.
Fascinating. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, I see you there in a couple of weeks.
Great.
Right. I'm in a zone. Very calming, where there was a couple of times where I had little spasms, as if I can feel the energy shifting my body.
Maybe we'll do this in the retreat on the end of the month. We'll do all the glands.
It feels like my cells just got a refreshing shower.
Yeah. It definitely, it changes the way you think and the way you process even your feelings. Like it really shifts things around.
This is perfect practice for me tonight. I want to be successful, but I'm afraid of being successful.
Yeah. Let's do that. You know, when we do the retreat at the end of the month on the 29th and 30th, we'll do the glands.
Really chill.
Yeah.
What protocol is this called?
I don't have a name for it. It's just for the lower emotions.
And for all you guys who check our events on our website. I don't have the retreat up yet, but I can get it up. I'll get it up in the next day or so.
It's a free retreat, so it's for everybody, regardless if you've taken a class or not. You know, you need to have oils, but
All right, it is 2 minutes till.
yeah, okay. Love you guys. I got to jump into another meeting. I've had a day of meetings. Oh my God, it's been crazy. But got to jump into another meeting. And remember, tomorrow night for the vital centers, we're going to start doing the vital centers with 99 aspects of the heart, and that's going to go on for a while. So it will be at 7 o'clock Central Time after the Astara event. So we'll do Astara first, and then I'll do the 99 aspects of the heart starting at 7.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank
guys.
you.
Much. Love
You're
you
so
both.
welcome.
Thanks,
Love you
Greg.
guys.
Thanks, Sam.
You
Love
bet.
you.
Yeah, see you in Seattle.
Thank you
here in a few
guys.
days.
Bye.
Bye. Hugs.
Take
Bye
care.
guys.